Bartolomeu Lourenço de Gusmão was a Portuguese priest and naturalist from the colony of Brazil, noted for his early work on lighter-than-air airship design. Early life. Gusmão began his novitiate in the Society of Jesus at Bahia when he was about 15 years old, but left the order in 1701. He went to Portugal and found a patron at Lisbon in the person of the Marquis of Abrantes. He completed his course of study at the University of Coimbra, devoting his attention principally to philology and mathematics, but received the title of Doctor of Canon Law. He is said to have had a remarkable memory and a great command of languages. Airship. In 1709 he presented a petition to King John V of Portugal, seeking royal favour for his invention of an airship, in which he expressed the greatest confidence. The contents of this petition have been preserved, together with a picture and description of his airship, developing the ideas of Francesco Lana de Terzi S.J. Gusmão wanted to spread a huge sail over a boat-like body like the cover of a transport wagon. The boat itself was to contain tubes through which, when there was no wind, air would be blown into the sail by means of bellows. The vessel was to be propelled by the agency of magnets which were to be encased in two hollow metal balls. The public test of the machine, which was set for June 24, 1709, did not take place. It is known that Gusmão was working on this principle at the public exhibition he gave before the court on August 8, 1709, in the hall of the Casa da India in Lisbon, when he propelled a bolt to the roof by combustion. The king rewarded the inventor by appointing him to a professorship at Coimbra and made him a canon. He was also one of the 50 selected as members of the Academia Real de Historia, founded in 1720, and in 1722 he was made chaplain to the court. Gusmão also busied himself with other inventions, but in the meantime continued his work on his airship schemes, the idea for which he is said to have conceived while a novice at Bahia. His designs included a ship to sail in the air consisting of a triangular gas-filled pyramid, but he died without making progress. Persecution. On account of Gusmão's work suggests that the Portuguese Inquisition forbade him to continue his aeronautic investigations and persecuted him because of them, but this is probably a later invention. It dates, however, from at least the end of the 18th century, as the following article in the London Daily Universal Register of October 20, 1786, makes clear. By accounts from Lisbon we are assured that in consequence of the experiments made with the Montgolfier balloon, the literati of Portugal had been incited to make numerous researches on the subject, in consequence of which they pretend that the honor of the invention is due to Portugal. They say that in 1720, a Brazilian Jesuit named Bartolomeu de Gusmão, possessed of abilities, imagination, and address, by permission of John V, fabricated a balloon in a place contiguous to the royal palace, and one day, in presence of the majesties, and an immense crowd of spectators, raised himself by means of a fire lighted in the machine, as high as the cornice of the building, but through the negligence and want of experience of those who held the cords, the machine took an oblique direction, and, touching the cornice, burst and fell. The balloon was in the form of a bird with a tail and wings. The inventor proposed to make new experiments, but, chagrined at the raillery of the common people who called him wizard, and terrified by the Inquisition, he took the advice of his friends, burned his manuscripts, disguised himself, and fled to Spain, where he soon after died in an hospital. They add that several learned men, French and English, who had been at Lisbon to verify the fact, had made inquiries at the Carmelite monastery, where Gusmão had a brother who had preserved some of his manuscripts on the manner of constructing aerostatic machines. Various living persons affirmed that they were present at the Jesuit's experiments, and that he received the surname of Voador, or Flying Man. Contemporary documents do attest that information was laid before the Inquisition against Gusmão, but on quite another charge. The inventor fled to Spain and fell ill of a fever, of which he died in Toledo. He wrote, Manifesto Sumario para os que ignoram pode navegar pelo elemento do ar, and varios modos de esgotar sementes na us que fazem água. Some of his sermons also have been printed. Legacy. In 1936, the Bartolomeu de Gusmão Airport was built in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, by the Luftschiff Bor Zeppelin to operate with the rigid airships Graf Zeppelin and Hindenburg. In 1941 it was taken over by the Brazilian Air Force and renamed Santa Cruz Air Force Base. Presently, the airport serving Araraquara, Brazil is named Bartolomeu de Gusmão Airport.